All right, today, LV Fig and Garden Channel, we're back with Tim Brown. We're gonna do a garden tour to show you what's possible in Las Vegas, front yard and backyard. You can grow pretty much anything you want. Besides, we do recommend you stay away from tropicals unless you are truly passionate and know what you're doing and wanna put in the time and effort to protect those trees. We're gonna show you what does great and what Tim really loves. And here we have some fig trees here in the front. Are these your babies, Tim?
These are, and you know, fig trees get the same perception that mulberries do. You got to have a big, enormous tree, and they can get big as your house. But if you like different varieties, different seasons of ripening, you can prune these back and keep them smaller. And in a small space here, I've got, well, on this lot, I've got 20 varieties in ground. So you can do that, but figs are one of the top fruits here for Las Vegas. Mulberry, pomegranate, fig, they're the closest thing to an easy list we have. So here's 2 varieties in a pretty tight space that's been here for a few years. And,
we got one hiding right behind your leg here.
Another one right here that's just a different variety. Then the mulberry tree next to it, and skip on down, there's another variety.
How big do you think your property is?
My property?
Growing space.
Growing space? Well, the whole lot's 7,400 square feet, and I've got a 4-car driveway, 4-car garage. The footprint for the house is probably 1,800 feet. Then patio, if I hadn't took out the pool, I wouldn't have any area.
Yeah.
But I would imagine realistically I've got less than 2,500 square feet.
And how many trees do you think you have in ground?
50.
50 trees in Las Vegas. Let's swing around here. Here's his mulberry. You'll be seeing a video on up close tasting the mulberries. This is the Persian.
Shangri-La.
Shangri-La.
Yeah.
And here we have open space. He hasn't even decided. We got landscaping here. Looks nice. He's using the colored mulch. He's got flowers. This is just a nice looking shade tree. And he's deciding if he should go crazy and put more use up more real estate with fruit trees, right?
Well, in between some of this, we want to have, I mean, food forests are great, and growing everything to eat is great, but we also have to live life, and we want some ornamental mix, especially here in the front yard. So in between, we've got a few flowering things and starting to add some color in. Like this space right here will be a roselle hibiscus, which is kind of both.
That's a great thing to grow in the desert.
It is perfect for the desert. So you'll see that as we have fruit structure, but some color and ornamental mixed in with it.
Here is your suburban neighborhood. Luckily he has no HOA, or else he couldn't get away with this. Right. But he's keeping it looking good with the brown colored mulch mixed in with flowers and ornamentals with a food forest style. We got some kids.
And we get a show from the Thunderbirds today too.
And Tim lives in probably the optimal climate here for growing, in my opinion. This is the closest climate to Arizona weather, as they consider Las Vegas, Arizona, which we do not. We have a lot colder winters in most areas, but he is considered, in my opinion, on the east side of town, one of the most warmest climates in Las Vegas. Do you agree?
I do, because we will get cold when those cold snaps come through. But a good example here is the moringa. Kept some green foliage on it all winter long. The moment that it freezes, that green will wilt, kind of like a sweet potato. You can automatically tell when it freezes. And this tree never froze back all year.
And we had a really warm winter.
Yeah, it was really mild up here. Now we did hit freezing for a brief moment up here.
But nothing like our previous winters.
Nothing. It's a very mild winter. You don't want to gauge your growing success of things on this winter.
And then also there's something to do with the humidity here.
I think the humidity, and of course we're trying to create some of that too.
Yeah.
You know, as we do. And you can tell I've got everything tore up here to redo the irrigation and landscape here, but using the brown mulch. And let me take just a second to talk about that, because somebody always mentions it. That colored mulch that's available to us today is a lot different than a lot of the fears that were put into you about dyed mulch. The chemicals that are done, and that was at one time a reality, and if you're not careful, it is. But today's mulch is manufactured for being this kind of mulch. The coloring that is put into it is, in this case, and you need to read your labels of what you decide to put down, but this is manufactured forest products. It's not construction byproducts, and it's colored with iron oxide.
natural.
So it's a naturally occurring color into it that not only looks good, but it's beneficial to our soils also as it does wash through. So
And it will break down.
it
And
will break down. It does.
I agree. His mulch looks appealing. It looks good. Whereas my all natural wood chip free mulch looks good for the first summer and then starts to look not so good.
This is 1 year old. It's here now. I've got the new mulch to put down for this year. So this is full 1 year old mulch that you see. So it does hold its color.
So we got some beautiful, here is the new red. Do you know the actual varieties or just the red?
I don't know the variety of that. It's just flowers red.
Yeah, it's just a new, beautiful agave style red cactus that puts out a beautiful red flower. We got some more flowers here. We got the infamous Black Madeira struggling. This is the Just Fruits and JFE Black Madeira, which had some controversy, but is now cleared up. In general, all Black Madeiras are the same.
But that one's been there for 2 years and it hasn't grown a foot.
Yep.
So
you never know, tree to tree. But you can see here in the back, we got the moringa, we got more flowers, and then hidden in the back is his forest of figs. So let's go through here and see. Here's another controversial topic that has just been explained here. This is the pineapple guava. You got two separate varieties?
Got two, and as our shopping is available in Las Vegas that are not tagged as different varieties, you can noticeably see the difference in the leaves.
Yeah, one's small, one is huge.
Yeah, and they're approximately the same age. So if you can't get your hands on two named varieties of those, you can shop in down at our local nursery that has these in the landscape section. They're not the fruit tree section. So these are in the landscape section. That's the reason they're probably not named varieties. And you just have to look for that subtle difference in the leaves on it.
And this is so we can get an abundance of fruit and not just a couple fruit or just eat flowers.
Fruit. That's right. That's right.
Here is another tropical. What do you call this guy?
That is white sapote.
White sapote.
And
non-protected, right?
Unprotected, because I'm not going to, if it's going to live with me, it's going to have to live unprotected. And people a little harsh on me for giving people a hard time with tropicals. I don't try to give people a hard time. I just try to be honest with you at what to expect. This is one that has survived 3 winters unprotected. Unfortunately, I didn't buy a full-size tree with this. I wish that I would have. But it looks like it's going to be good fruit too. I like it, and I know that it will fruit in Las Vegas.
So stay tuned for the tropicals of Tim. We have very few. I started with tropicals, and I am now.
Here's a tropical.
Yes,
you know,
here's a.
It's not that I don't try it.
That's a desert tropical. Doesn't really count, but.
Pineapple right here.
Yeah.
It barely survived this mild winter.
And keep in mind, Tim, in my opinion, and his, lives in the warmest part of Las Vegas you can live in. So I would never try any more tropicals in my climate on the northwest side of town. But here is the fig forest row. We got unlimited potted figs here, every variety you can imagine. I don't think we're gonna go over every variety because it's just too much. But he's got some of the rare ones, some of the good ones. But check out these figs here, guys. We got some main crop.
Some main crop.
Some main, some breba. You can see the breba there, and then right above is a main crop. But here's his fig forest. Potted trees looking good. Taking up some small real estate, but getting a lot of stuff done. We're gonna go here into the backyard. We got some tomatoes. He even threw in a grafted fig tree right there. It's pretty insane. We're gonna see how that works out. Got a nice loquat here putting out some new growth. Loquats hate the sun. They love warm springs and falls, and they love winter. They do not like direct burning hot desert sun. So if you can shade these guys out or put them under a shade tree, they're gonna do good, right?
This will have a shade over the top of it, but this is my east wall. So when you look over here facing west, that's where the sun is setting. But even with this, I have killed a couple of these trying to force them through summer.
They really,
they just,
until they get 4, 5, 6
yeah,
years old, but they're gonna look bad. When they get the sun blasting on them, they're not gonna look beautiful as if they had a shaded filtered light all summer long. That's optimal, when you say?
It is. And there's enough successful large trees that have been here for 20, 30 years that
Yeah.
no loquat can work for us.
Oh yeah, loquat definitely works. They just need a little bit of a special area or a little protection their first 3 to 4 years. Citrus looking amazing. This is Valencia orange. Waiting for this guy to kick ass. Mine is also growing at my house. Still no success with Valencia. They really do like a humid, warm climate. But here is the winner. The winner. My opinion, I came up with the winner. Tim Brown, you want to come over here?
I agree. This is a citrus that if you can grow it in your cold world over where you live, which is much different. Even in the spring, I can go from my house to yours and I'll freeze at your place.
Yeah, totally.
It's cold.
We can get down to a 7-degree difference just from my house and his house.
But being to Brett's house, seeing his tree this year with loads of fruit on it.
And what is your favorite? What is this tree?
This is mandarin quat.
Mandarin quat.
And kumquats are really higher on the recommended list for us because of their tolerance to cold. Cold is what kills our citrus in Las Vegas, not the heat. But this
or it might not kill them. They just
damages them.
They don't
them
perform.
Right.
They just don't do well.
And they can be irregular at that. This one is being crossed with the kumquat and a mandarin. Now, I like the kumquats; they're tasty. But this has that mandarin flavor with it, and is a much larger
It gives you
fruit.
the size.
There's one hanging on back here, Fred. If we can find it, it'll show you. You know, it's a couple of bites.
Yeah.
In this mandarin quat, really flavorful.
And I have some from my tree that are
Twice
that
as
I've
big
got
as it.
twice the size of that.
Absolutely.
And the production is just like a kumquat.
Right.
Everywhere you're gonna have mandarin quats, and you can just see how beautifully green. He likes to feed his trees iron and fish and compost.
And kelp.
And kelp, and that is the key to success. And then also the variety. These just kick ass.
Yeah.
They take the heat and they take the cold. I've had them in full sun in pots producing and doing amazing.
I think if someone asked me specifically about citrus, it would be Meyer lemon probably first.
Meyer lemon.
That's just a terrific tree.
But this is going to be your...
This one's right there with it.
Yep.
It's a great fruit, and it's fun. It's a beautiful tree. It's very ornamental.
It grows like a bushy hedge. Like, it just has beautiful leaves. They stay small, compact with multiple leaves. So we're going to go on through here. Here's one that I really want. Just haven't got around to it, the Satsumas. So this is Owari. This is supposedly a prized, delicious Satsuma. So I'm glad that he has this, and we're going to see how it does.
I am too, and it is flowering and set some fruit for the first time. Of course, this is a young tree.
Baby tree.
Both of these trees went in at the same time. This one was obviously a little bit larger, but you can see how much
it's just
more this one just proliferated. It's just
and we were talking about the rootstock. If we can find out the rootstocks, I mean, that could be also a big key to why, you know, that mandarin quat does so amazing. Did you get yours at Costco too?
I did. I got
Both of ours are at Costco.
And
they're hard to find.
They are.
They come every once in a while.
And the rootstock, unfortunately, is not listed on that tag from the variety. All nurseries don't list the rootstock. I think they should, but they don't.
So far, our winners, and my winners too, are going to be Meyer lemon, the quats, any of the kumquats, any quats, and also the one that I have, the other mandarin, the dancing tangerine.
Yeah, dancing or honey. It's
honey.
called.
Yeah, it has multiple names. That thing destroyed it, kills it. But that's another cold tolerant, small fruit citrus variety.
Right, any of the mandarins, and you can include tangerine in that same conversation. Mandarin, tangerine, any of those, more cold tolerant. And they just do well.
So far, that's the winner.
That's it.
We're going here. We got more figs. We got peppers mixed in. Another citrus. More figs. Here's the Meyer lemon, the king of all citrus in Las Vegas.
Well, let's just do a little something.
We're here going on some... Oh, wow. Look at this. He has a hidden...
There's still some left on here.
He's got a hidden... Look at that. Oops, knocked off some of his flowers.
Knocked off, that's okay.
Look at that.
You want to know what you can do with a Meyer lemon?
We're in April, guys.
I picked the last fruit off this one last year, first day of June. And when lemons turn color in November or December, it's because of the cold weather. That don't mean they're ripe. And a lot of people will go, it drives me crazy, will go harvest all of their lemons.
Also, they harvest them because they think that they won't flower, which is untrue.
Right.
You
Well,
do not have to harvest all your citrus to make it flower. If it doesn't flower that season, it's something else going on.
all I'm worried about here is that there's no bird poo on my lemon, but I'm going to show you something you can do with a Meyer that you wouldn't dare do with any other lemon.
Uh-oh. Oh, wow. I see the tang, but you still did it.
It's definitely a lemon.
Yeah.
There's no mistaking that.
All right, guys.
But you couldn't do that with another lemon.
Now I got to do it too. I've never seen this done, but we're gonna.
No.
Oh no!
Isn't that something?
It's a Meyer lemon quat.
It's a big kumquat.
It's a giant kumquat. There you go. So if you let these ripen, they turn into an orange. So it's pretty amazing. So Meyer lemon for the win.
February, March is the time to really start. But now I pick one as soon as they
Pick
start
a couple
turning.
a day.
Whenever I need a lemon, I come get it. But they're really best in February, March.
That's insane.
You wouldn't do that with another citrus, would you? Other than a kumquat.
No, and the inside is so sweet. Tastes just like a Valencia, which is what it's not a Valencia, navel, right?
A mandarin of some sort.
Or something.
Yeah.
But
that peel, you can literally, you can segment this just like a mandarin with that peeling.
or get rid of it and just eat it like a regular orange.
Yeah.
But we have the
And they're juicy. Look at here.
oh my goodness.
Makes the best lemonade.
You know you have an abundance when you're just squeezing out lemons on the ground.
I'm gonna eat it too.
So that's a win. Mulberries for the win. We got more figs.
Weeping Santa Rosa plums.
Santa Rosa plums. This is a weeping variety, but it has fruit everywhere. Plums do amazing here in Las Vegas. Super well. We got the world's best. We already know about that. You'll see the video. Follow up the video on the mulberries. That is a king of all kings as far as production goes. We got the apricot here.
Apricot. Grafted a few other varieties on there too.
Apricot is just kicking ass, Tim. I mean, you got... So how did you get so much fruit? My tree is trimmed to this size and barely any fruit. How did you get so much fruit this year?
One thing, and they can have off years. I remember a few years ago, this one didn't have as much fruit on it. But one thing, and I noticed it on your tree too, Brett, is that apricot will fruit on spurs down here close to the limb, as well as like the peach on last year's growth.
On the
And you don't have any of these spurs.
no spurs. It's all sticks. It's all main growth. And my tree got so tall, I had to trim it back, so I cut most of the fruiting wood off.
And you have to, with this down here, the more you cut it back from the height, it will develop these spurs.
And you'll get lower fruit.
And you get this fruit that's closer to the bark.
Do you think heavy summer pruning will cause those spurs too? Because you don't get rid of getting rid of the water sprouts?
Probably not.
No?
I don't think so. I think to induce those spurs, that's got to be heavy, bringing it down in the winter.
In the winter, and then it comes out in the spring.
You should do spring. I've already spring pruned this. You can tell it's pretty thin.
Yeah. We got a giant fig behind you.
Yeah. This one is growing for some shade structure for me as well as the fruit. And of course,
He's got grafts here. These are going to be chip bud grafts. He's got them covered here. And that's a whole nother video and segment.
Right.
But there you go. You just put a little chip of a variety you want on there. We got it covered with foil so it doesn't get all burnt and dried out, along with paraffin. I got to make sure and see where I'm walking. I don't mess up on all the
right below you.
flowers.
Herbs and such in with the flower mixture that I'm building. This is the first year that I've had this.
And then there's your edible
There's longevity spinach.
We got herbs. Apple tree, right?
That is a pink lady.
Pink lady apple.
Pink lady.
Look at those beautiful flowers. This guy's coming alive.
This
That has
is
a nice structure.
This is a genetic dwarf, so it won't get much bigger than this, and it's the first time it's flowered. It's been here for 2 years.
Beautiful.
And you see, if we don't have that big open center like the apricot tree is, if you'll look at this from the top spot, right, if you're going to have that a central leader in it, you want to try to develop that spiral staircase look,
Yes.
so that you can get sunlight into
And
the
they
tree.
really like to grow upright. So
Apples especially do.
apples.
Peaches seem to prefer the open center.
All right, we got more figs here. We got
And
3-in-1 planting.
this is just a temporary bed, but this is last year's cuttings, and these will come out next year.
Mm-hmm.
And when you turn around to what would normally be a garden or a vegetable bed for some people, this is all of this year's cuttings, mostly.
Yep, it's easier just to put them in the ground.
There was a few, those are last year's cuttings there, and some of them grew, 5 foot.
Yep.
But I don't have a place to put them yet, so they're gonna have to live there another year. Same over there, those are all this year's cuttings. I would rather have them in the ground than in a pot in Las Vegas summer.
And here's this monster waking up way later than the other varieties of mulberry. And this is your
Black Persian.
Black Persian, which in my opinion, it tasted last year. It tastes like a gummy bear.
Yeah.
The craziest complex flavor. But this tree is massive. The trunk is huge. It wakes up very late.
Yes,
And the
always.
fruit production has been minimal, right?
Yeah,
Hit or miss?
it's been hit or miss. Last year it set fruit and it just stayed there.
Yeah, they didn't ripen.
The fruit, yeah, it was weird. So this is just its 3rd summer.
3rd summer, he ordered as a massive tree, and now it is humongous. And this is going to be his beautiful shade tree, along with producing fruit. We got more landscaping.
That is a plum kite hybrid between plum and apricot.
Nice. More figs.
And then another row of figs.
More figs. You can see what we like is figs. We're a little crazy. Here's your strawberries
coming out. Yeah.
mixed in. You got to understand it's April. Everything's just waking up. So by the end of the summer, this is going to be a jungle. More strawberries. What happened to your asparagus?
The figs kind of destroyed my asparagus bed here, and I wanted to put strawberries in. So I pulled the last asparagus out the other day that was left. Originally, yeah, this was the asparagus bed.
So here we have
That is a 4-variety-in-1 Asian. Wait a minute, the little one.
the little one. What
The
are we?
little one, that is the only plum that is native to North America, and that's a Chickasaw plum.
Chickasaw plum.
And it works. It's a small plum that we grew up eating randomly in the South. It grows wild about everywhere, but it's like a crabapple of the crabapple of plums. It is a terrific pollinator. So it will help pollinate all these other varieties of
And you're going to
plums.
use it more for jams and spreads instead of just fresh.
No,
eating?
Helen will eat every one of them
Oh, so she
before
loves
they
them.
ripen.
Oh.
There's never a plum or a pluot will ripen in my yard.
Oh my goodness. And here is some artwork here. What the hell is going on here, guys? This is some kind of mutant of a tree. What is this, Tim?
That is a white Marseille fig that I put in the ground
This
last
is not
year.
bamboo?
No, that's a fig.
This is a fig tree, guys.
And I put it there last year just to let it grow in the ground for a year.
Yeah.
And it developed a side shoot with it and a sucker. And my inspiration was our friend Dave Saricchio over at What the Fig. Has a fig that he braided, his is 2 varieties though, that he calls Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
So I took the advantage from that just to start wrapping this and
And
braiding it together.
look at this. It's
And,
all twisted.
I like the way that it looks so much, and you can see that it's kind of thin and compact. Normally I would have dug this up and put it in a pot
Yeah.
or in a sip, not a pot. But since it's growing straight up, I'm going to let it grow another year here and hope it'll get up over this pear, because this pear won't ever get much bigger than this.
Yeah.
This is going to stay. I'm going to let it get up and then leaf out at the top. I think it'll be cool.
It looks wild. It's just like some crazy bamboo ornament, you know, that you would have.
Money tree.
Oh man, almost smushed the.
That's okay. It's just some cutting. This is Asian pear. 4 varieties grafted on this tree. I'm not fond of multi-variety trees. They're hard to keep balanced, but this Asian pear is doing real well. It's
Yeah.
a pretty balanced tree.
It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
No flowers.
Yeah,
Oh, it
it's a
has
few-
some.
Yeah.
Here's some flowers here.
2 varieties have already set.
Oh, here's flowers
Yeah.
here.
There's a few fruit that is set over here.
So I would love to come someday and taste a fresh Asian pear.
Well, Asian pears.
The grocery store doesn't do a service to me.
Right. These are good. I've had some from this tree and from the orchard. In my opinion, in our climate, the European pear is superior in flavor.
European
And this
pear is
is-
your favorite so far.
So far. And but I love Asian pears, and they ripen a little bit differently and are different tastes. You know, this one, this is a somewhat of a new variety. It's been around for about 15. It was released about 15 years ago, but not many of them. That's a fan crisp pear, which is a beautiful ornamental looking pear. And it's considered a dessert pear, so it's really good for fresh eating.
Nice. Well, someday we'll do a video on pear
Come back in
tasting.
fall.
And we just have more ornamentals. We got more figs,
more
which
figs.
who cares about figs? And
Hey, more mulberries coming up over here too. This one I'm gonna try. This is world's best.
oh,
That I'm gonna try to keep low and spread out right here.
he's gonna have world's best everywhere. That's the new fig.
Yeah,
We're
right.
gonna have 35 world's best mulberries. But you can see, guys, this is a small, well, compared to my yard, this is a large urban backyard that he has a lot of trees. He has actually a lot of room to grow. Good thing I didn't own this yard because we wouldn't be able to walk. But he's trying to, he hasn't finished, he's rearranging things. And he's got to add his new mulch he has, but he's got his kale over there in the garden. That's his little garden beds in between his trees there, and figs everywhere. So you can grow a lot here in Las Vegas, and just keep on growing and figure out what you want to do and ask your local groups. Not always give you the best answers, but there is some people that can give you some good answers.
Yeah. Well,
Any
that was
thoughts
fun.
on how you do this different or what?
Well, every day I change my mind, it seems like, out here. There's always something you can change or do, but regardless of your space, you can find a place to stick a pepper plant or a tomato plant or a kale in, and it look also somewhat ornamental. You don't have to have a yard full of raised beds to raise you some vegetables.
Or in rows of farming
rows,
style,
right.
you know, fruit
Right.
trees, or you can just pluck stuff wherever you want it to go.
Right, now I by no means am complete. I got a lot of work to get done here, hopefully to have this, you know, looking good too.
Yeah.
By the time summer gets here. So we want beauty and functionality, and I want to walk out here every month of the year and pick something to eat.
Yep, that's the goal for everyone. All right, guys, stay tuned for more videos, LV Fig and Garden channel, and hit up Tim Brown for on his Facebook, Tim Brown. You can find him on What the Fig. You can find him on Las Vegas Fruit Growers, Las Vegas Fig Growers, and hit him up if you want any world's best mulberry air layers. He said he's going to do, or cuttings in the fall. This is a monster world's best, and you'll find the video. But look at this. This is probably the showstopper of the yard right now.
It is.
All right, guys, stay tuned for more videos. Thanks a lot. Bye.